Coming up on Mountain News this morning, investigators are getting warmer when it comes to solving a nearly 45-year-old cold case in Laurel County. We take a look at what new information officials have discovered. And you've probably been told to donate non-perishable food items when giving to local food banks, but what other items do folks need donated?
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6:30 on November 17th. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. And Brandon, we made it to Friday, so everyone can celebrate that.
Exactly, and we're celebrating the rain that is coming too. I mean, I know that sounds odd to say, but after this week, we could definitely use something.
We definitely need it.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at Lake Cumberland this morning. Still no rain there. That's one of the westernmost cameras that we have out there this morning. Thanks to our friends over at SPEDA for that. But again, no rain there just yet. Still waiting on it to move toward our way. The clouds are in place. Temperatures, though, you wouldn't realize that. 60s from Moorhead to Irvin to Somerset. Close to 60 there, Jackson and Prestonsburg in the upper 50s, 30s in Grundy. But it's mostly 40s and 50s out there this morning as you start your day. About 66 before the rain really starts to settle in here this afternoon. It'll be after lunchtime. And then again, headlines as we next to the next couple of days. Front 1 arrives today and tonight. Front 2 arrives next week. And next, the Thanksgiving forecast after that, a bit on the cool side. We'll talk more about all that coming up in just a few minutes. Olivia.
Thank you, Brandon. Kentucky State Police announced Thursday that they have identified the victim linked to a cold case that has gone unsolved for nearly 45 years. Alyssa Williams spoke with police to find out more.
After more than 4 decades, police have identified remains from a cold case based out of Laurel County. Scotty Pennington with Kentucky State Police Post 11 says the victim was identified as 25-year-old Michael Murray of Atlanta, Georgia. Murray's remains were found on Coon Club Road in Laurel County in 1979, and evidence from the scene has been with Post 11 since then.
Supervisors and detectives, they get together and they kind of put their heads together. Have we had any new information? Have we had any more leads? Or is there a piece of evidence that's setting in evidence that maybe we can send off? Is there some new technology out there?
In this case, there was. Post 11 partnered with the FBI to use the National Missing Person and Identification System to identify Murray.
It's awesome that you can send DNA and fingerprints and maybe hair samples to help solve cases that you couldn't solve in 1979.
Pennington says although Murray's death was confirmed to be a murder, he says this situation can still give his family a sense of closure.
It's an awesome day for law enforcement and the Kentucky State Police and the London Post. And, it's a little bit of closure for the family who thought their son was a victim of a crime and would never be solved.
Pennington says police are still investigating details surrounding Murray's death. If anyone has information regarding this case, they are asked to contact KSP Post 11 to speak with Detective James Royal. Alyssa Williams, WKYT.
Pennington adds he hopes this case can provide hope to families who are still searching for their loved ones. A Lee County, Virginia man was sentenced to 20 years in prison for second-degree murder on Thursday. Officials say Timothy Tomlinson of Dryden was convicted of the murder of Sean Nutting. Officials with the Lee County Commonwealth's Attorney's Office say Tomlinson shot and killed Nutting on November 5th last year during a verbal argument. Officials say the two men had reportedly been drinking. Lee County Commonwealth's Attorney H. Fuller Cridlin released a statement Thursday saying, quote, "I believe that we presented the best case that we could and appreciate the difficult job the court has in fashioning punishment. We hope that the defendant's conviction and today's sentencing brings the victim's family some semblance of peace." End quote. Tomlinson is expected to serve his sentence at the Virginia Penitentiary. Back in May, the city of Berea went from a moist city to a wet city, meaning they were able to sell alcohol, not just at restaurants or under certain conditions. Mayor Bruce Fraley says the city is home to the Berea Craft Festival, Spoonbread Festival, and other events throughout the year. Now, if the sponsor of the event is interested in having alcohol vendors, it's possible.
And have a microbrew or a small family farm winery that travels from town to town during festival time and serves. So those licenses are issued at the state level. In our situation, participation in a community event would be dependent on the sponsor of the event. Whoever sponsors the event, if they want to have that type of service at their event, they can have that.
While Mayor Fraley says it may not have a big impact on event attendance, it is just another amenity for folks in the city. The governor's office has announced contracts for 2 major road projects here in the mountains. One is for the construction of an access road to the Skyview High Ground site in Perry County, where new homes are expected to be built for flood victims. The other is for completion of the final section of the reconstruction of U.S. Highway 460 in Pike County. Mountain Enterprises, Inc. was awarded a contract to complete that project. We have more about this on our website. And today and tomorrow, the City of Hazard and several community partners are coming together with local businesses to put on what they are calling Pink Weekend. With more than 20 businesses participating, Downtown Coordinator Bailey Richards says they want to give people a chance to get extra early Black Friday deals and support local, which one business owner says means a lot.
Being a part of the community of Downtown Hazard has been amazing because everybody just welcomes you with open arms. Shop local. There's so much in Hazard that people don't realize that we offer.
Each business will have special deals for the weekend, and transportation will also be provided by Hazard Perry County Tourism on Saturday, with stop points around each business so folks can ride instead of drive. And with the holiday season right around the corner, food pantries are gearing up for the busy season. And for one Eastern Kentucky food pantry, that is no different. However, there are some items that often do not get donated that are staples in different recipes. WYMT's RJ Johnson has more.
Through several organizations and stores, the New Hope Food Ministries in Perry County is able to give away hundreds of pounds of food per week.
Everything that we do is primarily up to the community, what they can put into the pantry outside of what God's Pantry does for us. Walmart donates through Feeding America. And then we've got Save a Lot, and United Grocery sells the little blessing bags that come to our pantry.
New Hope Food Ministries Director Bruce Estep says items such as recipe cards can be helpful.
Especially like with the different types of squash and zucchinis and stuff like that, and tell them how to fix it. And a lot of them don't realize it'll include another side to their dinner, you know. And like you said, if they don't, they're going to take it home and throw it over the hill.
While also including a crucial item in several recipes, milk.
And it's stuff that we'll take for granted. Shelf-stable milk, you know, a lot of families, you know, if you give them a box of macaroni and cheese, you got to have milk for most of those. And if they don't have that milk, butter, something you very rarely get.
Estep says they don't want anything to go to waste.
And we've got a lot of people, okay, I don't like pinto beans, but I'll give it to my neighbor. And, you know, and we're fine with that, you know. We don't want it wasted.
He says with the majority of their food from God's Pantry, direct donations of some uncommon items can be beneficial for those using their services. In Hazard, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Estep also says buying can openers and seasonings can be beneficial, as both can make or break a meal.
Coming up on 6:39, we are tracking Buffalo Mountain this morning, seeing the clouds, maybe just a little bit of haze or fog this morning, but otherwise 55 up there and at the airport as well down in Hazard. We're looking at 59 Prestonsburg, Jackson, 63 in Irvin, 61 Moorhead and Somerset. But on the other side of the scale, it is 37 in Grundy and 43 in Clintwood, 45 there in Manchester to start us off today. Out the door forecast, the rain is coming. We're going to be seeing that later today. And again, big time cold front going to cool us off by tonight and tomorrow. Olivia?
Thanks, Brandon, and thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:39. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. Hundreds of people camped out at New York's Times Square overnight. How participants hope the sleep out will raise awareness about youth homelessness.